Yeah, Zhao will be a late call. He was out on the pitch today. We'll make a decision on him tomorrow morning. So that's good positive because he'll be back sooner rather than later. With Este, he's definitely out for tomorrow, which is a real shame. And we're doing our further tests and investigation into his injury. And Enzo's absolutely fine.
That's good to hear. And as for the rest of the team, they all come through that game okay?
Yep, so far so good. Obviously it's a quick turnaround, but no other new news to report.
Glad to hear it. And of course, I know it was a difficult result at the weekend, which leaves you 7 points off the Champions League spots at the moment with an informed Brighton to come tomorrow, your former team, of course. Do you feel that any defeat from now until the end of the season could seriously harm your chances of finishing in the top 5?
We've made it very difficult for ourselves. We have to be honest and realistic with that, but what we can't do is give up. We have to keep fighting. We have to make sure we go to Brighton with similar attributes to what I saw against Manchester United in terms of our energy and our intensity and engagement to the game, which was good. But what we didn't do is we didn't keep a clean sheet in the moment, and we didn't take advantage of the chances. So we need to be more clinical and more ruthless in both boxes.
Yeah, actually on that, you spoke last week about how the performances have been there, but the results haven't quite been. And actually, since March, there's a statistic where your team have created 67 shots, more than any other team in the league, even though the goals haven't quite been there. So how much does that speak to the work that you are doing on the pitch, and how can you make sure the end product is there going forward?
Yeah, as a coach, you have to work to the data, you have to work to the process because you believe your process works in the end. But in this moment where we are, we need to win a game of football. It's the fundamental, that's what this club demands, and in recent results they haven't been there. So data is one thing and metrics and all of those things, but the most important statistic is the result, and we have to go after that tomorrow evening.
And I know you've continually spoken about how much you still believe you can finish in those top 5 spots. Is there any sense though of how damaging it would be were you not to finish in those places?
I don't think you can think like that. I said in a previous press conference, we'll deal with each situation as it arises. At the moment, it's a difficult task, but we just have to focus on winning the game tomorrow against, like, as you said, a very good Brighton team. We have to make sure we train very, very well, which we have done today, and we go down to Brighton with the only focus has to be on winning this game of football.
And last week, club owner Vedad Iqbali spoke about you and about the attributes he admired in you. And he said he thinks they're behind you and optimistic of long-term success.
Yeah.
You felt that support from the owners?
100%. They've been supportive of me in our daily conversations. The sporting directors involved, they've been magnificent in their support of me and the team. And we're aligned and we know we need to win games of football in the now. That doesn't go against what we're trying to do, which is give consistent success to this club long term.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you.
Thanks, Uma. Alex?
Hi, just
Hi.
wanted to ask you about Levi Colwill to begin with.
Yeah.
60 minutes for the under-21s. How is he after that, and could we see him before the end of the season?
Very hopefully, yes. You can see him before the end of the season. Levi's plan, it was a very low-level game. 60 minutes was a really, really good start for him. We want him to be involved in the next game on Saturday with the under-21s as well and build him up because it's been a really bad injury that he's come back from. So his rehab's gone really well. He's trained today. He makes a huge impression on the group. You can feel his presence on the training pitch. I can't wait to have him back in with the group.
What is easier to fix, the lack of goals or the lack of clean sheets?
Good question. I think if you want to win games, you have to make sure you keep clean sheets. It's the hallmark of every team. We have players, outstanding players, who can score goals in key moments. It hasn't happened recently, but what has disappointed me has been the goals we've conceded. We have to give ourselves a platform in the game to give confidence to our attacking players that they can go and do what they do best. You can't win every game scoring 2 or 3 goals, and that's something that we need to address very, very quickly, is to stop the goals we're conceding.
Moises has been wearing the captain's armband.
Yeah.
What's he like as a leader in the dressing room?
Moy leads by example. Delighted that he's committed his long-term future to the club. And he's somebody who leads by example in his bravery, the way he takes the ball, the way that he presses and tackles and runs some fights for the team. They're all the values that I believe get you success.
Brighton, a club you know well. Have you had a chance to watch the Spurs game back?
Yeah.
And what are their strengths?
Yeah, I watched it live before our game, and then obviously we've analysed that game and many more that they've played. Fabian's doing a fantastic job. It's a club that are built in a way that is built for consistency. They've got players who understand the system for a long time, and they're going to be a really, really difficult team to play against.
Thank you, good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Ian?
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
You mentioned there about bringing constant success. What's been the biggest challenge for you in the last 4 months since you arrived, would you say?
I think the biggest challenge for any manager coming mid-season is you want to get to know your players as quickly as possible in your group. You want to know not just tactical things, technical things, what they're used to, their routines, and you want to make sure that you don't adapt things too quickly from what they're used to. That's been a big challenge in terms of amount of games that we've played, the training sessions that we've had, and also making sure that they're understanding of what we want day in, day out, and that takes time. So that's the biggest challenge. In terms of the results, they haven't been good recently, and that's something that we really, really need to overcome.
Why haven't they been good recently?
Again, when we go through, I don't want to talk for too long. I could do. No. What I'm saying is we do a lot of information gathering. We do a lot of we look at data. We analyse the games. A lot of it comes down to moments. The Manchester United game sums up. They've had one shot on target. Well, we've had 10 men and it ends up in our net. Sometimes we have to make sure that in the key moments we stay switched on, and we haven't done that. And then what happens? The result changes the flow, the confidence of the team drops if you're losing a game in any team. And we have to make sure going into the rest of the season that we keep the back door shut and give ourselves a chance by scoring the first goal in the game.
I've noticed in press conferences, pre and post matches, you use the P word quite a bit, process. With 5-6 games to go, trying to get into the top 5, this constant success this season. Is it perhaps time to park the process till the summer for next season and just go all out to try and win football matches, however you do it?
No, we do. It's a process, the process of how we work to win a game. That's a process. How we train, how we deliver meetings, what the tactics are, that's a process. The process is to win every game that we play. So when I use the word process, you have a short-term process and you have a long-term process. For me, the idea from day one,